I guess until just I was short. I turned on the calendar and I was like, you want to mute us for now? I really wait on my. I'm through. So thanks. Girl, they see you as fine. Yep. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started. If you all could take your seat, please. We have a handout at the front table where you signed in. If you don't have one, please pick one up. Can you hear us okay on Zoom? Thumbs up if you can hear us. We have you muted. Okay. Okay, so thank you all for joining us today. This is our second town hall to focus on the chilled water line replacement project. And I have Frank here with me from Energy Options. He's the lead contractor. He'll be here almost every day during the project, every other day. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let Frank take over and just kind of give you a summary, a bit of a timeline, and we'll open it up for questions and answers at the end. If you could please hold your questions until then, we'd appreciate it. And go ahead and hand it to you.
Hi, everybody. Hello.
There we go.
Hi, everybody. My name is Frank. I'm with Energy Options, and we're going to be the ones who are going to be replacing your pipes, chill water pipes on both buildings. We've been here at Desert Island for about 15 years now, doing the water treatment on the cooling towers. We've also replaced the cooling tower on 910, and we're going to be also at the same time as we're doing this project, we're going to be replacing a chiller in 900 as well. So it's going to be multiple projects going on at once. We're using a black pipe. There's going to be some welding done. There's going to be some noise. So we just ask you guys to bear with us. We're going to try to keep the noise to a minimum. It's going to be done in the outside parking lot between the two buildings that we already have fenced off. And that's where we're going to be storing pipe. We should be getting another shipment of pipe here in the next week or two. And y'all can see the project and the process going on out there as well. Some people had asked already, like, what kind of pipe we're using. So we're using black steel pipe, and it's American-made pipe. We decided not to go with anything foreign because I understand you guys had problems with that in the past. So it's all going to be American. We're starting December 2nd. It's a Monday, so that's the day we're starting. And as of right now, we're going to start with 899. There's a possibility we might be able to get both buildings done at the same time, but we're still looking into that, depending on the supplier. So on the 2nd, we're going to start December 2nd. We're also going to be on the hallways. Each building is going to get about 30 holes cut because some of the units are not accessible from the inside. So we're going to have to cut a hole in the hallway. So you might see the holes. Don't be scared. They'll be patched up as soon as we're done. And we're looking at about possibly 2 weeks per stack, 2 to 3 weeks, which is in the basement. As the pipes come out to the chiller, kind of like branches off, and there's about 7 stacks. And each stack that goes up, the first 4 floors is all pretty even, and then once you get to 4 or 5 and up, it starts branching off in different directions. And on those floors is where we're gonna have to cut holes to access the pipes. And then once we replace them, we do the pressure test, then we're gonna be doing the installation. We have some samples up here of the pipe that we're gonna be using. Like I said, American black pipe still. It's pretty heavy, so I had to bring just a small piece. It's gonna bring a big old piece. And some of the insulation that we're gonna be using as well. The insulation is going to be is going to be used mostly in the parking lot, which is this kind of insulation. And then once we get up to inside the building, we're going to use a spray insulation. So that's what's going to fit inside. And then after we're done, we'll do the pressure test and we'll patch everything up. And then the walls are going to be textured as well as repainted. Same paint all the way down, so there's no signs of, where you can see where the holes are made.
So why don't you explain, so I'm going to have Frank go ahead and explain once they start in the building at 899 on December 2nd, we're going to get here, we're going to drain the pipes, and they're going to start in the garage. And do you want to go ahead and explain how you're going to address that? The horizontal lines, I believe, are what we're going to be working with first on that stack.
Okay, as far as 899 goes, we're going to start taking the lines. They come out of the chiller. The chillers are in the basement. I don't know if you ever hear them down there, these noisy machines that are buzzing all the time. So we're going to come out of there, and as we come out, you'll see the pipe that's already there. It's already insulated. So there's a bunch of pipes down there, but the one everything that you see down there that's insulated with this kind of material is what's going to be replaced. So once we're going to start demoing and then removing, like I said, we're going to come down 2 stacks at a time. And then as the pipe comes down, we'll remove it. We'll place it out here, dumpsters. And then we're going to start bringing pipe up from the bottom and when it's gonna be pulled up with chains from all the way up to the top. Once we get to the top, as it goes up, we're gonna be welding, just like a train, in order. And then once we get to the top, we're gonna go up to some valve. Right at the air handler is gonna be a valve that comes out, that 90's out. And then we're going up to that valve, and then there's another guy who's coming in for the plumbing, and he's gonna plumb basically from that 90 into the air handler. Then we'll do the pressure test. Once we realize we can make sure that there's no leaks, then we'll do the insulation, and then we'll start patching up the holes again.
Which cars in the basement will be?
So from what I understand, we're gonna start on the west side of 899 First. So that half of the parking lot, because I don't see for us a reason to have the whole parking lot emptied out.
Just that.
Just the side we're working on.
And
And I'll have more information with you guys in a couple of weeks because we're gonna have a full-on job walk. We're gonna have all hands on deck. I'm gonna have the plumbers, I'm gonna have the insulators, I'm gonna have the guys for doing the patchwork also. And the third party plumber that's coming as well. So we're all gonna be here to check everything, and we're gonna have a whole game plan going, so we know exactly where we're gonna start. And what we're gonna know exactly what unit numbers and everything that we're gonna be, so you'll know what days we're gonna be in there.
do the cars need to be out of the space the whole time you're working on that side?
Yes, the cars will need to be out of the space the whole time. Reason being because we don't want to have any damage to your vehicle. So I know the parking lots are going to be afforded, so you guys are going to be on both sides of the building.
Okay, so to clarify, if you're on the west end of the building and that's where they start, until you finish those, let's say 4 or 5 stacks,
Right.
we're gonna have the cars on the west end
And the golf
moved.
carts.
And golf carts possibly. Anywhere, if you look up and you see the insulated lines, those are the vehicles under those are what's going to need to be moved. So again, as we get closer, he does his full job walk. We're gonna have welders, we're gonna have drywall, we're having energy options, we're having
Pipe fitters.
pipe fitters.
Chiller,
There's a huge crew that's gonna be here. So they're gonna do their final job walk, get a better schedule in place. We'll be sending schedules to you guys, I'm sure weekly. We'll have them posted, emails, and we can all be prepared for that. And I wanted to talk to him about, I'm gonna have him explain kind of the schedule once they're in your unit and how that's gonna work. Who's coming, going, how long?
Okay, so once we're inside the unit, obviously we're gonna have to go on a couple times. So we're gonna be in and out throughout the day. Just be prepared to have some,
A couple weeks.
yeah, for about a week or two, just depending on how. We're expecting the first stack that we do to be the longest because it's, the first one. So we're expecting that one to last the longest and to get some. As we progress down the line, it should be going faster because we'll understand more of what's going on. Because unfortunately, the blueprints that we have don't explain exactly what's going on in those walls. The ones that we have, it just shows straight up. But once we got to fourth, some of y'all have seen us here already. We've done some job walks where we've come and looked inside your buildings, inside your apartments or residences, and we found that from floor 5 and on, what we found there is not on the blueprints. It just shows straight up. But once we get to the 5th floor, it curves this way and that way, and then it comes back around. And there's some that actually do like a circle, which is kind of weird. And it's like, and that's mostly at 899. 900 is more straight up. And I'm assuming probably 899 was built first. That's why they made all the mistakes over there and got it together at 900. So that's why 899 is a little more difficult. And so you can expect us to be on the first ones to be a little bit longer, but as we go down the line, I think it should be getting faster and we'll progress. It'll be quicker. But I would expect about a week or 2 per stack as of right now. And that all can change.
Monday through Friday.
It's gonna be Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday, our hours are from 6 to 6.
6 to 6.
6 a.m.
And we know there's going to be some noise related to this work. The reason we have to start so early is because we have to get this project done before it warms up again. We've got to get both buildings done. And the goal is the end of March before the temperatures start creeping back up so we can get everybody's AC up and running the way we need it.
Right.
So do you want to talk about, I'm going to have Frank go ahead and explain per unit. So you'll go in, you'll cut the pipe, you'll drop it down and just kind of walk them through step by step. Then you're going to test it. You're going to felt.
Well, the most important thing is to have that unit cleared because we've been into some that they're being used as storage. And if there's stuff in there, it's gonna be take longer for us to get in there, obviously. We want to be in and out as quick as possible, and I'm sure you guys don't want us in there bugging you guys either. So, what we're doing is, once we get the water drained out of the stack, we're gonna come in there, we're gonna start the demo. So it's gonna start from the bottom, and we're just gonna keep bringing it down. And it'll be from the seventh floor, seven, right? Seven, yeah. Seven all the way down to the basement, to the parking structure. As we get them out, we'll get everything out, demo everything, we'll throw it away. And then once we get the whole area clean, we're gonna clean it up. We're just gonna run like a scrubber through and then start putting the new pipe in. So once we start getting the pipe piece by piece by piece, and it's gonna be pulled from the top. So as we pull it up with chains, we're gonna weld, and then pull a little bit more, weld a little bit more. So it's gonna be about 6 to 10 feet pieces that are welded. Once we get up to the unit itself, we're gonna come out, and it's prefab on the ground, where we're gonna have holes that are gonna come out. So we could put another pipe in there that's gonna come out to your unit. There's an inlet and an outlet. And on that pipe that's coming out, there's a valve, shut off valve. So we're gonna put valves on there. Once we put our valves on, then the plumber that they hired is gonna come in, and he's gonna go from the valve to the actual air handler itself. Then the pressure test is gonna be done. So pressure test is done. Yes, sir.
Are you gonna have a crane pull that stuff up?
It's gonna be a hand crane, come along, a chain fall. So from the top, we'll be pulling it all the way up.
You were talking about after the valve is connected. After the valve, the plumber comes and does the
Yeah.
valve.
So after the plumber comes in and he puts in his valve, then we'll finish up the installation. After the pressure test, we put the insulation in, and then we'll be able to get the holes patched up on the outside, and that stack will be done. But keep in mind that the water will still not be turned on, because the water runs through the whole building at once. So we won't have the water running through until all of them are done.
So how many days is that?
We're expecting that to be till the end of March.
That's only the water to your air conditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only the water to your air conditioning.
Yeah,
So,
doesn't affect your shower water, nothing like that.
right, yeah. That's why we're doing it now.
So no air, no cool air.
Correct.
Awesome. When do you think you'll be in the actual units themselves on your dates here? I see like 2 to 6, that's probably moving cars and going up, so forth. When will you be, we're gonna be out of town. I just wanna know if we're gonna be back. We're actually gonna be going through the unit.
Please repeat it.
So his question was, when are we gonna be in the units? Are you saying like what times are we gonna be in the units, or what dates?
Dates.
Yeah, what dates?
What dates? I'll have that better. We'll have more knowledge of that in the next couple of weeks. Once we bring the guys out and we walk it. So once we walk it and we get to get a good look at it, and we get to see where we're gonna start, we'll have an idea. But like I said, it's all subject to change, because we're not gonna know exactly how long we're gonna be in until we get the first one done. Once we get the first one done, because that's where all your mistakes are gonna be done, if any mistakes are gonna be done on the first one. And then as we go through, it'll be faster.
Anything else that you?
Just a couple things I have for you is that I think that would be very clear to everybody that the roofs our chillers are in, which is where the hot water tanks are as well, that those rooms have got to be cleared out. You guys don't clear them out, and we have to pay extra to have these guys do it. And that's not weird. That's what costs us more money. So everyone here has to clear out that room so that it's not a bunch, because everyone here might as well have mops and this and that, or what have you. And so that's all gotta be cleared out completely, so they can get in there and do their thing. So that's why your scheduling is really important to us, that we know when. The other thing is too, on parking, which you probably, what I would suggest you would do is, like, a couple of days beforehand or whatever, you make a marking. I know Brooke will send out messages to everybody, but I would take off those parking spaces, only because some people come here as our visitors, don't know, they go underneath the garage and try to park in a parking spot. We don't know who they are. So I would rope off, with tape or something, each space, so they know it does actually pull in there, like the day you're gonna do the work. That's what I'm saying. For the team. Just because that's the thing we really want, is to see it go smoothly, and so it, start to finish. There's gonna be hiccups no matter what.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and repeat what Frank said, because it is very important that everybody does clear out their utility closet. We do have some people with items in their closet in the hallways. Some of you are fortunate that your utility closet is not in your unit. It's out in the hallway. So you don't have to worry about all these contractors coming in if you're available or not. But even there, those should be cleared anyway. But we The expense, like Frank said, any sort of downtime or delay in the project because of an access issue will be back billed to the homeowner. And it's very expensive and it's per worker. It's not even just let's say that day you just happen to have 5 people that need to get in there and work, then it's going to cost more, of course. With the vehicles, we will get those cleared again. That would count as downtime if we're struggling trying to get a hold of you or your person, whatever the case. So it is very important.
How about external parking for us? We can't come out of the building, there's always free in town. External
Yeah.
park.
Well, yes, we're going to do the best we can with external parking. The good thing right now is that we're not going to have as many contractors here because we finished that architectural season. So that should free up a good number of spaces outside. We're gonna,
A lot of people have second cars out there.
yeah.
Business out there and come play pickleball.
Yeah, the other thing too is that we're looking at our parking assignments that we have in the office to see if there's anybody that maybe has a tandem and they're not going to be here at that time or has a second space that they'd be willing to let a neighbor use. We're going to do everything we can to help coordinate parking because we do know it's limited. It will be a challenge. So
You started about the parking. I didn't understand completely. Are you gonna empty out a whole site while you're working or what's that?
yeah, that's the plan. When they're out here doing their job walk, they'll be able to look and see from parking space A to parking space D. They need it cleared out for those 2 weeks or whatever the case is. So that'll be part of our schedule that we send out to everybody.
It's not like you're gonna be the whole side of the garage for some period of time. Just that section.
I'm thinking that what most likely is gonna happen is we're gonna have half of the garage emptied out until we're done with that whole side. And then when we're done with that side, we'll go on to the other side and then y'all can come back in that side. And then we can work on the second side.
So your plan is to kind of split it in
Yeah,
half
kind of split.
or do stack by stack by stack.
Besides.
Oh,
There's another way.
So-
Because not every space in our garages are where the pipes are. Like, right, the space like ours, there's no pipes about. So that probably won't have these sort. But if you have a parking space and the sealed light pipes are. Then those are the pipes that are gonna be worked on. So if there's no pipes over your top, it's whatever, correct.
if there's, because I want to prevent, because we're gonna be doing demo. So I don't want any cars to get damaged. So say if there's pipes above your spot, and the other 2 sides don't have them, I'd like to have all those 3 empty. Because I don't want to cause any damage to any vehicles whatsoever.
That is.
So that's why we're thinking it's probably gonna be best. Like I said, we're gonna find out in the next couple of weeks. How we're gonna do it, but you're right, there's 3 sides. I was thinking like right down the middle. So we could like 50%, 50%. Half of the parking lot can be not used at the time because we're gonna be doing the welding and stuff there. Because there's gonna be some welding done as well. And the other half, we can use it. And then when we switch over to the other side, we'll flip over vice versa.
Nothing in our utility closet other than the furnace and the washer and the dryer. And it's very tight. If the dryer has to be removed to access pipes in the furnace, do you do that or do we have to arrange that ourselves?
Arrange it yourself. Have you seen any that you think are too tight for you to work in there?
Those are the ones we're gonna come around to the backside holes.
Okay, so those are the ones that they think they'll access from the hallway cuts. If there's any that, no,
Other than a furnace on for the other unit behind that longer. I mean, it's not difficult to remove the dryer, that.
yeah, okay.
From 2.5 feet of walking space.
Yeah, we'll have to look at it and see. We're gonna have to look and see. Go ahead, Jim.
If they're not starting until December 2nd, why is this absolute Friday, November 22nd date here for clearing out all the units?
I believe that's just to make sure it's done and to also give them a chance as they go around to look in the units to be able to see everything that they need to inspect to prepare for the project. Go ahead in the back.
Check on the parking. Like loading it. We're going to take our stuff. Back down or to that.
There is some, so we're trying to keep it together.
So the question was, while the parking areas are closed, if homeowners will be able to pull in to utilize the loading zones and have better access to the elevators to get into their units rather than walk all the way across. There are some pipes though that run along the loading area as well. So if that's the case, depending on safety, we'd have to look and see if it would be available or not. The lobby doors. That may be an option. We'll have to talk to the building councils and the board and see, but when we send the schedule out, I expect we'll have more information at that time too, with that type of,
I was just trying to.
yeah. Go ahead, Jim.
Also, we filled out this form saying that we would give access. Since we're talking about a long period of time, and we might have a day or two where we're going to be gone. In those cases, we can coordinate with you if we have the master.
Yes. So Jim was just asking about access to the units because it could be over the course of a week and a half to 2 weeks where we're going to need to get in. So that was the purpose of this form that we sent out, asking everybody if you're going to allow access, if you want to be there, are you going to have someone else responsible for that? For those of you who have given the association permission to go into your unit when you're not there, we would of course just go ahead and let the contractors in and take care of that.
But we should notify you. Oh,
Well, if your form says that we have access and they're at your door ready to work, then we're going to go ahead and go in. Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
This. All these. West side. Because we're talking.
So right now it's code 899
Someplace else.
Yeah. as of right.
Okay, Frank's saying just $8.99 to focus on that for now. And
East or west.
they're gonna start on the west side. I mean, you know-
East side, we need to look this out on September, November 22nd.
As long as 2 weeks before we get there.
just a couple weeks before.
Okay, so you guys will tell us.
Yeah. Go ahead, Penny.
John, people should not be have, it's a fire hazard, people put too much stuff in.
Yeah.
It's to your benefit that you get it cleaned up.
Yeah, they should be kept clear. We've gone in to do some work before. We've had to go into some units with utility companies, Spectrum, and have spent 30 to 40 minutes for maintenance, just clearing stuff out of these closets. And it is not a great idea to pile it up like that. So, TJ, did you have a question?
So are they gonna inspect every unit to see that closet or area? Because some of these heaters are much larger from one unit to the next. And some of the hot water heaters are large.
Yeah. I don't know that we're gonna have time to inspect every single one. The units that Energy Options will be going into more diligently and making sure that they see each one is higher up on the fourth, fifth.
Well, we
Yeah.
we do have to go into every single one because every single one does have that connection that comes out the back, like I was saying earlier, where we have to put valves. So every single one has valves. So we're going to be putting shut-off valves on every single one, on the inlet and the outlet. So if there's ever any maintenance that needs to be done to it, it could be shut off because some don't have valves right now. But everyone will have a valve at this point. So if there's ever any maintenance that needs to be done there, it can be shut off, isolated, shut off, and you can do maintenance on your unit itself.
Are you guys putting the shut off valve on?
We're putting the valves, so the valves are coming out of our still, and then the plumber's going from the valve to the air handler itself.
Tom?
Water.
To the air handler, does it shut off the water?
Yeah, so it's a manual valve. It's a ball valve. So it's like I said, it's just an isolation. So if we ever need to work to that, something
Work on
happens
air
to it, yeah, we work on the air handler, you can isolate it and then work on it.
So a lot of the valves we have now are older and rusted, and that's going to present a problem as we're trying to connect new pipe to older rusted parts. So that's why we're doing the valve at this time. I did see a question, and I'll get to all of them here on Zoom, but one person did ask to clarify if your air handler is in the hallway and not in your unit, the contractors will not need to go in your unit. So there's, I believe, a handful on each end for those lucky homeowners. So we did go around and check those to see if we had access as well. Some people have had those keys changed. So I believe we're in pretty good shape with that. And again, just make sure it's kept clear so that we can get in there and get started. TJ, you guys
Is it
tight?
possible you'll be coming into the unit at 6 in the morning?
It is possible we will go into the unit at 6 in the morning. I know it's not.
Have to be out of the unit.
No, you don't have to leave your unit. You can sit there and have your coffee and
Drinking my coffee.
you can stay in bed. Yes, I know.
Are you
It's-
bringing donuts? That's all.
We thought you were bringing donuts. Yeah, we have cookies. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
We have hot water running, right?
Yes, you will have all of your domestic water will work. It's only air conditioning. That's not going to work. You'll have your heater, all of that. Go ahead.
Since Scott is no longer with it, who will be representing the association and content?
We have, so the question was, who's going to be representing the association now that Scott's not here?
Yeah.
So we do have 2 different people we've reached out to. We're just waiting on some final information from someone I met with on Friday. But we will have somebody involved representing the association. The board and the building councils have not quite confirmed what that structure will look like, but we're expecting weekly, bi-weekly reports. As we're getting started, they'll be more involved. And then once Energy Options kind of gets into their own swing of things, then, you know, that may lessen a little, but we will have somebody as a project manager. Go ahead.
One more time, how long?
His question was to clarify one more time, how long y'all will be out of the parking spaces? Like I said, we're expecting about 2 weeks per stack, roughly. It might be a little bit longer, might be a little bit less. You know, if you're lucky and you're on the end of the building and we've already done half, 3/4 of the building and we're just zooming through, it might just be a few days. So we'll know more as we're going through.
But half a building's gonna be more than one stack. How many stacks?
So the stacks, the way it is if y'all next time you guys are in the parking lot, just go ahead and just look up and you'll see. Like I said, any pipe that has the insulation on it is gonna be replaced.
The pipe with the
But
bucket.
I'm saying,
The pipe with the buckets.
I'm saying the whole half of the garage will involve more than one stack. So it's gonna be longer than a few days.
So okay, so say we do the first 2 stacks, right? Then we move on to the next 2. So now we're on 4. We don't want to have people parking on this side because we're gonna be moving in and out. And we're gonna have a forklift coming in as well. So it's just easier not to have anybody to have that area clear so we can be able to move in and out freely.
That's not my question. Time. If you're gonna have half of the garage blocked off, how long will that half of the garage be blocked off? Because there's more than one stack.
Right, we won't know yet until we start actual work. Yeah, once the first one's done, we'll have a better idea of what's going on.
Building, there's 16 steps, is that correct?
I believe so. 8, there's 8, so, and it's 2 because you got the hot water, the return also.
You're calling it 8?
Yeah.
8 steps.
Mhm.
Okay, so to say that they're happening 2 at a time. It's really. I guess I wanted to know the definition of stack.
Okay, so
The units or
Yeah.
the pipe?
it's the pipe itself, so we call that a stack. So you got 2 pipes, so for every, so you have the 8 lines, right? For every line, you have 2 pipes that go up. You have the inlet and then you got the return. So Well, it depends on what building you're on. Some of them are right in the middle. So I did see today, because I walked 900 today, so you're 900? Okay, so those are all towards the back. And so they start off in the back, then they come out to about the middle of the building, then they go up. So if you're on the entrance side of the building, there's no pipes on that side. It's all basically where the cars are parked and also where the golf carts are parked.
So when you say half the garage, that two things, so front half, the back half still, like.
I'm talking about the half in general, all the way through, front and back, because like I said, there's gonna be welding going on. I don't want any damage to nobody's vehicle. There's also gonna be forklifts coming in and out. There's gonna be workers walking around and stuff.
I'm not,
You're asking lengthwise versus,
what is half? The front half, back half, or left side, the right side?
Left side, right side.
Got it. Thank you.
Try to put the timeline together, it's 20 per stack, 8 stacks, 2 buildings, that's a lot of weeks. But how is that overlap?
It is a lot of weeks. Yeah, that's why that's what we have until the end of March to do them all. So we're anticipating right now of roughly about 2 weeks per stack. That's what we're anticipating. So like I said, once we get the first one done, we'll have a better idea of how long it's gonna take us to get the other ones done. First one's always gonna be the hardest one, the longest one, because we're coming into, and then there's a lot, for example, in 899, when we got up in there, we saw that there's a lot of pipes that, like I said earlier, they move around, they switch around. Well, there's some pipes that we weren't even able to follow yet. So we're not gonna know until we're actually in the building, in the walls. Then we're gonna know. So, and we're hoping that that's pretty smooth, because we did see one pipe that did a turn, and then we lost it. We couldn't find it anywhere. And that's in 899.
That's a target start date.
We'll have more information on that coming up shortly.
If you start at March first, tell me, because the chiller has to be installed.
Well, yes, you're right too, because the 900, we're also changing out the chiller. So we're changing we got 2 projects going on at the same time in 900. There's a chiller that's coming out, and they're replacing it with a brand new one.
When is that?
That just makes.
That is gonna be done at the same time.
a separate team's doing the chiller.
Say, don't start by whatever date, we're not gonna finish by March 31st, right?
Yeah, that is a possibility. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna know more in about 2 weeks. Once we get everybody in here and we have everybody do the actual walk, we're gonna know exactly what the job will be done by the time frame.
If you have to bring in more people.
Yeah, even if we have to bring in more people, it will get done.
Go ahead, Wayne.
You have to access from the hallway. How long will that be?
So the hole we cut right when we're ready to start on that stack, we'll cut the holes. So it'll be open until the stack is completely done, which anywhere a week or 2. But when we're not working on it, it's gonna be covered up in plastic the whole time. Yeah, so it'll be covered up in plastic the whole time. And then we're gonna put a brand new piece of drywall when we're done with everything. It's gonna be a brand new piece of drywall. And then it's gonna be patched up, and we're gonna put the texture in the paint all the way down to the end of the wall.
Last.
Yes. Yes.
Go ahead, Frank.
So if I say in 900 building, we don't have isolation areas where we isolate section like 899 does. In case it's a water leak in somebody's unit or whatever. So you're gonna put in isolation valves, right? So you can turn off part of the building, not all the building one time.
Correct. This question was there gonna be isolation valves? Yes, there's gonna be isolation valves in every single air handler.
That's just.
Yes.
Henry?
I live in 900, but I'm curious about 899. We're mentioning the pipe kind of zigzag, and are you going to try to straighten them out, or are you going to have to follow the same pattern?
We're gonna follow the same pattern. Because the wall is already pretty much built around that pipe, so then we'd have to do more demo and stuff, so it'd just be easier just to kind of follow the same pattern.
That'll take longer than regular.
Yeah, that's why 899 is the hardest building. That's why we're starting that one first.
Let me see. I have a few questions here from Zoom. So let's see. We have a question here about the utility closet again. That is where your water heater is in the hallway. The utility closet has your water heater and your air handler. So again, if you're if you're not sure where it is, we have a spreadsheet. I believe you guys all received one here. And it talks about where your air handler is located by unit. So, if you have any questions about whether or not it's, prepared, or if you want us to come and take a look, we want to get ahead of anything we can. So we're happy to help. If you're not sure about your keys or anything, again, just please reach out. Timing is very critical. We have a lot of work to do. It's not a very complicated project, but it's a big project. So, again, I think that the biggest piece of this is having the access we need when we need it. So again, we'll have schedules posted, we'll email everything. Please keep an eye out for all of that. Go ahead.
Question, you said it before, but I'm not sure what it was. So on each side, let's say, that.
That's what we're anticipating right now.
Okay, so really, then I'm going back to this question, which was our building second. How many stacks are in the 899?
There's 8 and 8 on each one.
So that's 2 stacks. I mean, we're going to beyond 2 weeks.
But we're gonna have multiple crews working. So we're just gonna try to figure it out. Once we get in there and we figure out what's what and where's where, like I said, it's gonna go by quicker as we start progressing down the line. So we're gonna try to get you guys the best information possible as soon as possible.
Go ahead in the back.
Like being something. They have ways of sectioning off, like I don't know, different sections. So, all these sides. Nothing isolated. Whole system. So they're not functioning. It's already
So, yes, what we're doing now, pretty much like we can do a check for to look at some. Okay, that would have to be between us later.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that. I do remember that from previous meetings about being able to shut the sections off down in the garage. So we'll go through that. See where we are with that. Go ahead.
How's the
Deborah.
chiller replacement 900 building? Impact the pipes replacement, they're gonna be simultaneous, or they're gonna shut off our air before the pipes?
Yeah, the water will be shut off for the chiller replacement. I believe we're expecting that to happen mid-January. But again, it's going to be when you're not using your air conditioning. So we'll drain it. We may, depending on how quickly Energy Options gets to 900, it may be that we've already drained your lines and we're working there anyway. But the reason we're coordinating the chiller replacement with this project is because the plumbing's changing a little, so we can go ahead and customize it and get everything connected for this new equipment. Yes, Josie. Here, so we have Energy Options is not working the week of Christmas and New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. But otherwise, they're going to be here working Monday through Friday. Is there any other?
Work out. Like you have to working from day one on both buildings. Those stacks, 8 stacks, 1.5 weeks per stack. Still with some holidays and everything. So what is there must be a little delivering back to lines like phones, or whoa, it's gonna take a lot more work.
Again, I'll let Frank take this, but I expect that they're planning to speed up. We're saying 2 weeks, but we're expecting it'll go faster than that as they go along.
We're saying 2 weeks to be on the safe side. So that's to be on the safe side. I don't want to sit here and say, yeah, it's going to take we're really thinking of a week, because I don't want to sit here and lie to you, but we're expecting about 2 weeks. Like I said, I'm sure it's going to be less than 2 weeks, but we're giving ourselves 2 weeks to give ourselves a good cushion.
Certain that 900 being started later, that we're now no longer just partial going to 8.
There's a possibility. that we might be doing 900 at the same time. There is a possibility. I'll find out in the next couple of weeks about that. I got the guys, I had some guys here today. I don't know if you saw me walking around today. I had two guys with me that were looking at the pipes 900 because I might get help from them to do both at the same time. So we're just trying to get it done as quick as possible and as painless as possible. Yes, sir.
But if I understood your question, I think you said you might be working on two stacks at the same time.
Right,
Having two crew.
right,
So that would give you more time.
right. It would.
I mean.
But like I said, we're anticipating, hopefully, if we can get this going with this other helpers that I asked to come in today. And we could probably, if it all works out, we might be able to start both of them at the same time and get it done quicker. Yes, sir.
Change expenses.
We made it, the contract says there's no change orders, so everything's included.
Any other questions on Zoom?
Yes, sir.
The
Question.
pictures.
It hasn't been very long since we redid the walls. Our precautions about that.
Yeah, the contractors, we're gonna have ram board down and they'll be using booties in your units. You know, they're aware of everything that we expect and you know, that quote unquote room finish when they're done. They know what.
Basically, we're coming into somebody else's home that's not ours, and we want to treat it the same way you were coming into our home. So we're gonna obviously respect your space and leave it clean the way we left, like when we came in. And as far as the hallways goes, like I said, the only thing you should be seeing out there is when we're working on those hallways, it'll be covered up the carpet, and you'll see some holes, but it's just temporary. It's not, you know. Hopefully, when we're all done, or you don't even notice that we were here.
Any other questions? Anybody else? Nothing? I don't think, let me see. If both buildings, yeah. Any other questions on Zoom? I think we've addressed them all. If not, will you please just type in your question again here for us? We don't miss anything. Cars, if you do both buildings at the same time, too many cars out of the garages. Yeah, we're gonna do our best to accommodate that. We'll consider it and coordinate everything we can. Again, we're hoping that we can find some spaces if people aren't here. It's gonna be a challenge, but it's something that we'll work on. Go ahead in the back.
Mention the hallways. I mean, if you're this high, you have a couple of guys and they're working from the pool. Are there times when always you catch your phones? Like coffee?
You can still come in.
Yeah,
Inside you.
yeah, you guys will still be able to come and go. The only work that they'll be doing is when they are in the hallway is the cutting.
Yeah, and then the piping that's inside. If we do it, so the only time that I'm anticipating in the hallways for those units that don't have the air handlers inside the hallway, I mean inside the unit where it's outside,
Okay.
or where we have to do a hole and cut through, and then we'll be working on the hallway there. But we're gonna be doing one side at a time, so it's not like we're gonna be taking up the whole hallway. So you can still,
Should know in about
yeah, just be able to get through. And if we're in your way, just tell us to move.
Go ahead, Michael.
Brooke, Frank mentioned earlier that the chiller lines kind of ran in the back of the building, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm in the front end building, and I know I have two lines running down next to our air vent, which I assume are chiller lines. So any unit that has two lines running down next to their air handler, basically someone will be in there change those, correct?
Correct.
So they're not all in the back, or am I just?
I think in the garage, they're in the back.
So the lines start in the back. They start in the back because so in 900 the chiller is on the back side. So it starts in the back and then it does, you can see where they branch off and come out to the middle and then they come up. And then once they come up, then they split. That's when they start splitting. But you can see it.
That'll all be being replaced.
Yeah, it's all being replaced. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, any curiosity, when next time you guys are in there, just look up any pipe that you see that has insulation on it or that's leaking.
That has buckets.
Or that there's a bucket tied to it, that's being replaced. All that's being replaced.
Thank you.
Josie.
stack. But it doesn't make sense if it turns on the first level or something. Yeah.
Floor 1 through 4 are straight up. And then it starts moving around. So, and then it goes up again, then it moves around and goes up, then it comes,
It's only the connection.
But what I'm saying,
it's the connections that twist. The connections, like the turns,
yes,
that twist. So, but for the most part, like I said, floor 1 through 4 is straight up.
I guess I originally. I have exactly cut sections, well, it push it up. Push it up. But at some point. It's down.
When I say the turns are speak, hold on, wait, what are you talking about?
Like a 90-degree.
All of
Now she has me confused. Okay,
the lines.
Mhm.
Full water, right? That's the water, that's which,
yes.
that's all right. I'll get a bunch of.
I think what she's saying is that. Since you have turns and you're pushing the pipes up, obviously when it's a turn, you can't push it straight up. So when you get to that turn, well, at that point, that's the turns, when you make that turn, or how are you handling the angle?
Well, the pipe is gonna be straight up, so there's gonna be holes on the side. So this pipe right here is actually one of the ones that comes outwards. So the pipe that's going up, it's a little bit bigger than this one. So this one specifically is well number 12 on 900. They're all of them that are back there are marked. If you guys want to go back there, you guys can see them also. There's a little stack, a small stack so far of pipes that you can see, and they all have holes in them where the welds are going to come in and go sideways and do the turns. But for the most part, it's all straight up.
And that's where you go to the wall.
Yes.
So I think the question is, it's gonna turn here.
Mhm.
Now you
Still
can't
goes
keep
up.
pulling it up.
No, it still goes up.
Okay.
It turns here, and then it comes out here, and then it comes back. So because you have multiple, but it still goes up.
I have, are the blueprints in there that I have? Is that something that would
Yeah,
make
so-
sense?
yeah.
So we have a set of blueprints in the office. If you want to stop by and look, and you can,
Completely accurate.
they're not completely accurate, but it does give you a really good idea of how the pipe does run straight up, even though the connections, because again, it's connecting every air handler together. But the main large pipe goes from the bottom straight up. But then you have it tee off and it connects to this neighbor and then maybe that neighbor. But the large pieces are going from the bottom straight up. Where it angles is where they're going to access from the hallway.
It's the main line, it's going. all the way
Straight up.
And sub lines that go off that.
Correct. Main line that goes straight up and down.
In the front of it. It's
In the when you have a chance, Josie, if you want to stop by, we can look at the plans because I think we're saying the same thing in different ways. I'll look at it with you and I'll show you. Go ahead.
Basement have buckets that they have water dripping, is that all gonna be gone?
Yes. No more buckets, no more dripping. Yes, that will be gone. Let's see, do we have any other, we have somebody asking about the trash chutes, those will not be affected. That's it. I think that's, go ahead.
I know they've done work here for, on the solar units. Have you done a residential building like this with what you're gonna be doing with the work that we have done?
Yes, we've done stuff like this in the past. We just finished a project similar to this at the Pantages Theater. Because they have a lot of black pipe going through there as well. So we just finished that one up about 2 weeks ago.
So they don't have the individual units of these.
So because they have office buildings as well. So it's kind of similar. But we've done also a building in LA and called Franklin Towers. It's right off of right behind Hollywood Boulevard. And we've done there's black pipe as well. And they have it, and theirs is very similar to yours. Not exactly, but it's very similar.
We're not getting to.
No.
$8.99 is.
Yeah, 899 is gonna be a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah. Okay. No other questions? Okay, well, it looks like we've gotten to all the questions here. Again, feel free to email or call The more communication, the better. Timing is important. One last housekeeping item I want to mention. We have a lot of tenants in this building. We have a lot of good tenants. We have a lot of long-term tenants. Our relationship is with the homeowner. We have been communicating with the tenants. Ruby's been working very hard to make sure everybody's aware of the project, making sure that tenants are aware, that we have access. But again, you know, as a homeowner, please make sure that you communicate if you do have any renters or anybody staying in your unit. If there is a bill for delayed work, we will be billing the homeowner. That's something that you'd have to work out with your renter, but we want to avoid that as much as possible. So please make sure that you are communicating with them and making sure that we have all the access we need.
Potential line form.
Yeah, if you have not completed the chilled line preparation form, please stop by our office. Ruby would love to stop bothering you for that. She's been emailing people, calling. She's done a great job. We still have a few stragglers, so we do need to get those in, please. And with that, we're going to go ahead and close the meeting. Thank you, everybody. It's like bad news, no matter.